Hi, and welcome to today's reading. Today's reading is another collective reading. I'm picking up on the energies of, and I'm doing a whole playlist of these readings, the energy of the rise of the divine feminine. As a collective, we are tapping into our divine feminine energy. And I've been pulling in energies all week about it. And as I said, I've decided to create a playlist of this energy. So today I'm picking up on Kali. Now, Kali is a Hindu goddess. She's seen as the mother of the universe, death and rebirth, destruction, and Mother Nature. Now, when you think about Mother Nature, I think Mother Gaia. And the way that Mother Nature tries to balance. What I'm picking up here is an imbalance, perhaps, in your divine feminine energy. And it's not necessarily coming from an external source that's placing that imbalance on you. It's coming from inside you. And what you are nurturing, what you are giving to, and the imbalance around that, as in what you are giving to, but what is being taken from you as you give. So if you're new to my channel, all my readings are timeless. You've been guided here because there is most likely a message in this reading for you. I truly believe that your guides, your angels, point you in the direction of information that can be of use to you at a specific stage in your spiritual journey. Now, as I said, I'm picking up on divine feminine energy, something that you may be doing at the moment, trying to tap into your divine feminine energy, realizing that maybe there is some sort of imbalance in your life, somewhere where you're giving that's actually taking away from you spiritually, physically, mentally, emotionally. So as I said, if you are new and this reading resonates with you, please give it a like and welcome. If you are returning, welcome back. A bit about me first. I'm an intuitive tarot reader. I pick up on energy prior to a reading. I will then come and use my tarot and oracle decks to further clarify the messages that I am receiving. I'm also an illustrator. So all the decks that I use on my channel are my own designs, my own creations, my own drawings. And if you are called to any of the decks during the reading, the link to them can be found in the description box. So these readings started 4 or 5 days ago. I started receiving messages about the Bride of Christ. Now, I didn't know what the Bride of Christ was. And it means different things in different religions. So, for example, in Judaism, it's called Shevakia, and it is the divine feminine essence. It's celebrated, or it's brought to life in something called the Song of Songs, or the Song of Solomon. And it's a universal wisdom. It's celebrated at Passover, which is when they also celebrate Exodus. When Moses took the Jewish people out of slavery in Egypt. Aligning with what I was saying before about something that is an imbalance in your life. Something that maybe you become a slave to, that's causing an imbalance in your divine feminine energy. Now, masculine or feminine, we all hold divine masculine and divine feminine energy within us, whether you're male or female. So you don't have to be female to get messages from this reading. Maybe as part of your journey at the moment, you are tapping into the divine feminine side of your energy in order to have some sort of balance. Now, the Bride of Christ in Christianity is seen as, well, it's seen as many things, but the woman, the bride that marries Christ, literally marries Christ. the way I've been picking up the energy is that it is a marriage, a divine union with yourself, a reconnecting of yourself spiritually to your divine feminine energy. The other things that are at play at the moment are on the 2nd of September, which is in a couple of days. It's the 30th of August today. So this reading probably won't go up until a couple of days after, purely because it's part of a procession of readings, and they obviously take time to edit and load. But on the 2nd is the new moon. Now, when we think about the moon is the divine feminine. And when there is a new moon, it means that the sun isn't shining on the moon. So the sky is dark. And sometimes it's dark for 3 days, the day before and the day after. The moon requires the sun, the light from the sun, to shine on it in order for us to see it in the sky. You're getting some form of enlightenment as to, if you think of the sun illuminates things. You're getting some sort of enlightenment, perhaps over this new moon period, that brings you information about how you can correct this imbalance. Maybe you're so far into it, you just don't know how to get out of it. Now, the new moon aligns with the Sabian symbol, the bride with her veil being snatched away. So some sort of way of life that you are living, where the wool's been pulled over your eyes in terms of the imbalance that's happening to you, in terms of you being able to nurture yourself. We're also leading into the spring equinox, which is the 22nd of September. It's a spring equinox in Australia. Obviously, it's the autumn equinox in the northern hemisphere, depending on where you live. But the spring equinox for me is new life. As I said, Kali is death and rebirth. We've just gone through the winter and we're coming into the spring. Actually, summer today, it's over 30 degrees. Winter is gone. This illumination. The songs I was picking up were When September Ends, which is almost this feeling of, and you can hear it in my voice, exhaustion. I'm picking up a feeling of exhaustion. When is this going to end? Almost like you're on, is it a rat wheel? Hamster wheel? I got No More I Love Yous by Annie Lennox. That song is about saying goodbye to a lover. And that could be the case for you. Maybe somebody is draining you, but to me it's saying goodbye to something that you are investing in that is draining you. That recognition of it. Now, the other thing that comes into play around the new moon, and at the end of September, we go into the eclipses. I think there's one at the end of September, maybe the 22nd of September, and then there's another one in October. The other thing was coming up around the new moon is the goddess Persephone. So Persephone was a girl who was taken to the underworld by Hades, who represents Pluto. Pluto is death and rebirth. And her mother was furious. Now, her mother was the goddess of harvest and fertility. So in an attempt to get her back, she destroyed all the crops on the planet. We think of spring. Spring is new life, new growth. Something that you love, as in your inner essence, has been taken from you. Now, tying back to that original reading that I did with the Brides of Christ, lots of pomegranate themes were coming through. In Judaism, there are 613 commandments. In the Bible, it says that there are 613 seeds in a pomegranate. And when Persephone got taken down, her mother said to her, don't eat anything when you're down there. And when she came back up from the underworld, her mother said to her, did you eat anything? And she said, I had 4 pomegranate seeds. And so instead of the harvest coming back straight away, they had to wait 4 months for the 4 seeds that she'd eaten. Which is tying in with this theme of you giving to something, you nurturing something externally, which is actually taking away from you internally. We're in September at the moment, or in August at the moment, the last day of August, but August and September is Virgo season. Now, Virgo is the 6th house. Virgo is, for me, the 9 of Pentacles, which tried to come out when I was doing my pre-shuffle. The 9 of Pentacles for me is my Mother Mary card. It's Venus in Virgo. Venus is the divine feminine. Virgo is the Virgin. It's Mother Mary. We've got running themes between Persephone and her mother. But Virgo is the 6th house. Now, the 6th house is health. Something that you're doing is affecting your health. And if I go back to that story about Persephone and her mother, she ate 4 seeds. So her harvest was pushed back 4 months, 1 month for every seed. You're accruing karmic debt with whatever you are doing in the way of, and that big sigh I just gave, that exhaustion that you're accruing, potentially unknowingly. You're creating a rod for your back. I'm just going through my notes. What you are giving to is actually taking from you, was a message that I was hearing. I was also hearing God as a woman. Now that came through not yesterday, the day before in another reading. Really, really strong. And if you think about Mother Earth, Mother Gaia, you're saying yes to others but no to yourself. Okay, and I'm going to go through these cards. Now these came out when I was doing my pre-shuffle. So first of all, I got number 68. This is my Angel Oracle deck. Now 68 is the 8 of Cups. How about here? The 8 of Cups is Saturn in Pisces. Currently Saturn is in Pisces and Saturn is retrograde in Pisces. Saturn is your karmic teacher. It's a looking back on what you are giving to, and in this instance, how it is draining you spiritually. Healing. A rebalancing that needs to happen. We got the Justice card, which is number 11. Now the Justice card is Libra. It's the scales, an imbalance that's happening. It's also Venus energy. Libra is Venus energy. Venus is a nurturing of yourself. Venus is the Empress card in the tarot. And then we got the North Node in the 6th house. Now, as I said, the 6th house is ruled by Virgo. The number 6 in tarot is love, self-love. If your North Node is in the 6th house, get ready for a roller coaster of blurred lines and dreamy visions, fueled by your empathy superpowers. But fear not, it's your time to level up and become the VIP of your own life. Empathy. You might be an incredibly empathetic person, which means that you're giving to others but not giving to yourself. Now, this angel, and I said before it was the 8 of Cups. It's actually the 9 of Cups, which is Jupiter in Pisces. You've got the ability here to get a rebalance. Jupiter is the Wheel of Fortune card. An opportunity here to get this rebalance in your life. But in order to do it, you have to have a look at what you're giving to that is actually taking from you. Now, this card aligns with Psalm 106:1. This angel will love the countryside, hunting and gardens, and all things connected with agriculture. How beautiful is that? Because we were just talking about Mother Earth, Mother Mary, the Empress energy. This angel preserves health and cures diseases and rules agriculture and fertility. Soul guardian for those born 10:20 p.m. to 10:40 p.m. Moral guardian for those born the 26th of May, the 6th of August, the 17th of October, the 28th of December, or the 10th of March. And the physical guardian for those born from the 18th to the 22nd of February. Now, they don't have to be your dates or time of birth. They might just be dates that are significant for you in this particular journey. So I'm going to pop these up here. And I'm just going to give you some examples of how potentially you could be giving too much without recognizing it. I'll give you an example of my own spiritual awakening. Well, one of many, but the last one that I had was back in 2019. I had 2 kids that were part of a sporting club, where the infrastructure of the club, well, there was no infrastructure of the club. Great coaches, great people, but nobody running things behind. And so I stepped into that role because for me, I had watched my parents always be part of volunteering in social settings. And whilst I enjoyed every minute of it, I actually created a rod for my own back, because the more I took on, the more was taken in terms of my time and my energy, to the point where I had to walk away completely. If you look at it from a mental perspective, it's a helicopter going over the top. Hovering. A hovering parent. If you look at it from a mental perspective, and just say you've got young children, you might have had people in and around you that meant well. You should be breastfeeding, not bottle feeding. You should be using cloth nappies, not disposable ones. You should be raising your child this way, where you are nurturing somebody else's opinion of how you should do things, and it's taken an emotional toll on you. Or even on the flip side of that, again, I can use an example. My mother, who was a stay-at-home mother, and when people said to me, what do you want to do when you grow up? I just wanted to be like my mum. I wanted to be a stay-at-home mother, and I fulfilled that. But there was this underlying desire on my behalf to try and live up to the expectations that I had around being like my mother. Now, my mother didn't have them at all. I was one of 5 kids. Not a thing out of place. I can't even remember my mother yelling. She had it handled. And I remember ringing her when my kids were little, and I'd had one of those days, and I was almost worried that I was going to be judged because I'd had one of those days. And I said to her, how did you do it? And she just said, I just did whatever worked. Like this idea or this ideal that you have in your mind that you've tied yourself to, that's creating this imbalance in your life. Creating a rod for your back because you think either you're being told that things are meant to be done a certain way, or you think you're going to be judged if they're not done a certain way, and it's creating this imbalance. There is a book that quite frequently comes up. There is an angel card, and if it comes out, we'll see. But there is a Canadian doctor called Gabor Mate. I'll show you the book. And I have it here because it comes out quite frequently in readings. When the body says no, the cost of hidden stress, healing, a healer to be cherished. He's a Canadian doctor who, he's in his 60s or 70s now, but he basically has extensively studied the physical cost of an emotional stress on your body. And like I said, with Persephone, she had to wait 4 months because she'd eaten those 4 seeds. It eventually is going to catch up with you. And it's why it's really important that readings like this come through and that you start working on nourishing your inner divine feminine. Now let's get, what do your guides want to tell you about this work that you're doing? Remain calm at this time. That image of Kali, she's got 2 sides. One of them, I think she's got 10 arms, like a tornado, like crazy, crazy. Trying to juggle too much. Your guides are saying to you, you're out of balance. What else? Love offer. You're out of balance because you're not giving that love to yourself. Where did I see that before? I saw love. And actually, I've just seen something in my notes. So when I was getting ready for this reading, I was trying to light the candle, and it took 4 matches to light it because it's quite deep in there now. But eventually I had to light another candle and put the match on that to light this one. You're burning the candle at both ends. Robbing Peter to pay Paul, 2 candles. And something's going to give. Something's got to give. Something's going to give. Potentially your physical health. Okay, let's get some cards. I want to know where you are. What's currently happening in your life? Ace of Pentacles. Ace of Pentacles is a gift from God. It's a divine blessing. But did you see how it was spinning? Ace of Pentacles is Capricorn, Taurus, and Virgo. Ace of Pentacles is the slowest moving ace. Potentially this has been going on for a long time. And maybe a situation that you are in is getting the divine blessing from you, but you're the one that's suffering. And I'll give you an example of that. When my daughter was born, at 4 months, she had horrendous anaphylactic allergies. She literally couldn't eat anything. And because I was breastfeeding, anything that I was eating, she was so sensitive that anything that I was eating was coming through, and she was reacting as well to that. So we started on this elimination diet. Well, I did, basically pulling out everything in my diet, trying to work out what she was reacting to. At the end of 12 months, so from 4 months to 12 months, I had this beautiful chubby faced, roll upon roll upon roll, little happy as Larry, bouncing baby girl. She had fat rolls upon fat rolls. She was so well nourished. But for that 8 months, the only thing that I could eat was pear and rice, because everything else she reacted to. She was the Ace of Pentacles. That was me. I had dark circles under my eyes, or my nails were splitting. I had hair falling out. I had cold sores all around my lips. I was a walking zombie. Something that you are giving to is getting the Ace of Pentacles. But you're not. Now, in that instance, I would do that all over again, because obviously she's my child. I'm just giving you an example. Let's have a look at what else is happening with you. Wow, the Six of Pentacles. The Six of Pentacles is the moon in Taurus. Taurus is Mother Earth. There's an imbalance. When that card came out, and again, I'm giving you another example. As I said, we were part of this sporting group. But what happened then was I would have these emails from people, you know, I need to come and talk to you. And I'd say, oh yes, I'll be at training at this particular time. Because my kids were training in the morning and at night time, 6 days a week. I'll be at training at this particular time. You can come and speak to me then. I'll walk you through whatever needed to be walked through. And it would be a day where my kids were exhausted and they didn't want to go. And if it was a morning session that they had to be at and somebody was coming in to get some information from me, you know, I'd have to drag my kids out of bed. Something that you're doing is affecting other people around you. And maybe it's just because you are so exhausted that how you treat other people, the relationships that you have with other people, is being affected by how much you're externally nurturing something that isn't nurturing you. And as I said, I went through a huge spiritual awakening at the end of COVID. For me, was the best thing that could have ever happened, because all the sporting centres were shut down. We couldn't turn up to training even if we had have wanted to. And just that joy of being able to sleep in the morning without having to get up at 4 a.m. And I've since sat down with my kids and actually said, I'm really sorry that it was the initial desire to help out this club that needed assistance, but it tied me. It created, as I said before, created a rod for my back. That because I was too kind, I couldn't extract myself from. And the problem here is that if you don't extract yourself from it, you're the one that ends up suffering. Yes to others and no to yourself. There's no balance. Six of Pentacles is meant to be equal give and take, but it's not if somebody's taking from you. And you're meant to say yes to yourself and no to others. And there will always be, and it's a test, there will always be around you people who take advantage of the fact that they know that you're going to say yes, because those people, it's easier to come and ask you because they know that 9 times out of 10 your answer is yes. Why would they go to somebody else who's going to take them maybe a day to get a yes from? Somebody that they've really got to prime and convince. If they come to you and you always say yes, you're easy work for them. They get what they want without too much of a struggle. 6 is the number of love. That's what it was. 6 house. I knew that there was a love offer. I knew she was going to come out. That's the Empress. You are the Empress. The Empress is Venus and Taurus. The Empress is Mother Mary energy. The Empress is the divine feminine. What you're meant to be tapping into And if you haven't already, if you've got this feeling of exhaustion and feeling frazzled and feeling like you can't, or you have to do for others, or do what others want, or meet the expectation of others, then that is actually sitting in unbalanced divine feminine energy. King of Pentacles. The King of Pentacles is Jupiter in Taurus. So this angel is the Nine of Cups, which is Jupiter in Pisces. Jupiter is expansion. Pisces is spirituality, a tapping in to your divine feminine energy, saying no to others and yes to yourself. King of Pentacles is Jupiter in Taurus. It's a nurturing of yourself, a building up of your internal strength. As I said, Jupiter is expansion. Jupiter is the wheel of fortune. You can't give to others if you've got nothing left to give. What's that saying? You can't pour from an empty cup. Taurus is the earth. Something you're giving to is taking from you. Now, how did that happen? The Ace of Pentacles. That's from my other deck. There's 2 Ace of Pentacles in this deck now, which is not meant to be, but obviously it is. So I use my offline deck and one of the cards, this card here. What's the message in that? What wants to come out behind there? Death and rebirth, which is Kali. Ace of Pentacles. This is my offline deck. 7 of Swords, deception. 10 of Swords and 10 of Wands. Look at this. Okay, radio. I see where we're going here. So, the deception is here. That what you are giving to, that you think you are doing because it's kind or because it's helping somebody else. Maybe you're empathetic, maybe you're helping a family member or a friend, or you're helping somebody. You're helping somebody. Somebody is getting a divine blessing from something that you are giving to them. But hidden in my offline deck, wow, is deception, 10 of Swords, which is you, that's burnout. 10 of Wands, double burnout. Heavy burdens on your body, on your mind. The Empress, this is you. And then underneath is the Temperance card, which is no balance because it's deception. There's no balance. Sagittarius and Jupiter is the Temperance card. And underneath that, that's the 5 of Wands, which means you're defending it. You're not saying no. You are the yes person. And people are taking advantage. What these cards are saying is, that needs to come this way. That only you can turn this. That's death and rebirth. Only you can turn this around by nurturing yourself, by pouring the love into yourself and not to other people. What you're doing is deceptive. It may feel like on the surface that you're doing the right thing, but it's actually you that's going to pay the price in the end. And I was going to say something I can't. I'm going to give you an example of it. We had friends who were going through a divorce. And they were fighting backwards and forwards. And me being the kind person, and I would always take the phone call of my friend. And I would sit and listen for hours and hours on the phone. to the detriment of my own family. So, you know, my dinner was late to the table because I was on the phone to my friend, and my washing didn't get pulled in from the line, you know, that sort of thing. But I was trying to be the good friend. Now, on the same token, her husband would come to our house in tears, and we would sit and talk and, you know, try to help, you know. Weekend after weekend after weekend after weekend of this going on, trying to be kind, trying to be empathetic. Until one day, it was on a Saturday afternoon, they had this big argument. And on the Sunday, as a family, we'd planned this beautiful family day. We were going for a picnic. We were going to do all these beautiful things. But because of this big argument that had happened, he turned up on our doorstep on the Sunday morning and literally spent the day at our house. So we missed out because we were trying to be kind. Our family missed out. It's that kind of energy I'm picking up on. Something that you've been nurturing, something that you've been saying yes to, that's actually hurting you in the long run. Okay, let's get... There's an Ace of Pentacles, a divine blessing waiting for you, but you've got to put your boundaries up. Let's find out what happens when you put your boundaries up. The Five of Pentacles. Now that's under Mars in Scorpio. Vibes have changed. Let me get some more. The Five of Pentacles is feeling left out in the cold. 10 of Swords. Okay, I know where this is going, but I'm Emperor underneath. Queen of Pentacles. And the Six of Swords. Okay, so the Five of Pentacles is Mars in Scorpio. The 10 of Swords is the Sun in Gemini. The Queen of Pentacles is Uranus in Virgo. And the Six of Swords is Mercury in Aquarius. And we've got the Three of Wands underneath, which is the Sun in Aries. So what's going to happen here, and this is more talking about the people that you put boundaries up with. And I've been doing this over the last couple of years. People that take. And I've been saying, actually, no, that doesn't align with me spiritually. You are almost, you want to create a bubble for yourself, and you don't want anything to come inside your bubble. The person that you're doing this to is going to feel like you've left them out in the cold, which you have. Because you've said, actually, I'm saying yes to myself and no to you. They're going to feel betrayed. Well, hang on a minute. Whatever I wanted, whatever I asked for, this person was always there. And now they're not. We got that Emperor card underneath, which is, the Emperor is masculine energy. It's Aries, it's Mars. It's somebody potentially getting angry because you've started to put boundaries up. Mars is the planet of war. Maybe somebody's spitting fire at you because you've started to put the boundaries up because you want to nurture yourself. The Queen of Pentacles is independent. Single, independent. Her own mind, her own power. Relying on herself. You know, this is what you're saying to somebody else. You can't rely on me anymore because I'm not your, what's the word? You can't walk all over me anymore because I know my own value. Queen of Pentacles. And you're taking from that. Not your doormat anymore. We've got the King and Queen here of Pentacles. As balance, you're getting balance back. Six of Swords is moving on to calmer waters. As I said before, remain calm at this time. Kali is the image, when you look her up, this image of these 5 arms bloody, going all over the shop. Because she's literally got so many things to do. She's this for one person and this for another person and this for another person. But she's nothing for herself, or she puts herself last. Kali, the goddess of destruction. She destroys herself by being everything to everybody else. Six of Swords is moving on to calmer waters. Remain calm at this time. I just heard Elvis has left the building. You're Elvis. You've kind of drawn a line in it. This is where you're heading, drawing a line, and if you haven't already done it, drawing a line in it and saying no more. I'm deceiving myself. I'm deceiving myself by thinking that I can continue being everything to everybody else, but nothing to myself. It's creating an imbalance. 8 of Swords. It's keeping me trapped. Interesting. Okay, let's have a look. Anything else? 5 of Wands. Saturn and Leo. Saturn is a karmic lesson, or Saturn is your karmic teacher, and Leo is the Strength card. These people, whoever they are, whatever situation this is in your life, are part of a karmic lesson that you had to go through in order to tap into your divine feminine energy by putting up boundaries with other people. 7 of Cups, getting rid of the illusion. If you look at that, there's a little heart in one cup. This is people always coming to you. They've got many other options of people that they can help, of people that they can ask for help from, but they're coming to you. Or if it's King of Pentacles, Page of Wands, if it's you thinking that you've got to do things a certain way to meet the expectations of a certain person in your life. It's a rechanging of your mindset. Page of Wands is the explorer. It's what's Saturn and Sagittarius again. Yeah, look at that, the Strength card on the bottom. The King of Pentacles builds wealth. You are building spiritual wealth by putting yourself first, by nurturing yourself, by saying no, by learning. Page of Pentacles, by learning to say no. And it might be hard. And it's especially hard when you start to get the pushback. I mean, I'm experiencing that at the moment. Starting to get the pushback from people. Nasty things said. But I am calm and in balance because I know what is good for my spiritual health, and I know that stepping back into that world where there was an imbalance only serves as a disservice to myself. Great for those other people, because then they get the yes person back again. The Strength card on the bottom. Okay, let's get some guidance from your guides. See what they want to tell you in this situation. We've already got remain calm at this time and love offer. What's this here? Love is the greatest healer, right? You're meant to nurture yourself. You can't be anything to others. Look at that, death and rebirth. You can't be anything to others anyway if you haven't fed your own soul. Life path, something that you're meant to do in this lifetime. And I think if you're an empath, all empaths go through this. Heavy burdens. All empaths go through this. I love it when the cards come out. But it's part of the lessons that you learn. Yes, on the bottom. If you had a question, the answer is yes. But that for me is reference to, it's part of the lessons that you learn. Delays may have taken a long time. As I said, this Ace of Pentacles here is the slowest moving ace in the deck. For me, if I go back to the references I gave to you about my life, I watched my parents volunteer for every group. So that was something that I saw through my childhood, which I then did in the last 10 years, you know, up and through into my 30s and 40s. This big lifelong lesson of how do you give without giving away too much. Delays, but it's part of the journey, part of the ascension that you are on, part of the lessons that you have to learn. Okay, let's get I'm just going to get one more angel card, or maybe two. Number 40, consolation and comfort. And number 62, wisdom and philosophy. Part of a journey that you're meant to be on. Wow, Metatron on the bottom. Metatron is the celestial scribe. So Metatron writes in the book of life all the lessons that we learn through our life. Potentially something that you've been learning lifetime after lifetime. Maybe in a previous lifetime, you gave and gave and gave and gave and didn't tap into your divine feminine energy. You didn't get the strength, the courage up to say, actually, enough's enough. I'm mentally, physically, emotionally, spiritually drained and I can't give anymore. I now have to give back to myself. Let's have a look at a moon oracle for you. Join the adventure, Cardinal Moon. Blaze those trails like a boss. And on the bottom, it's time to bid farewell to your cozy spot, North Node. You have to do, when you step into your North Node, it's doing things that are uncomfortable. But it's the way you ascend. It's the way that you spiritually grow. I'm just going to get a bit more information on the Cardinal Moon and what that actually means. Okay, so the cardinal moons, blaze those trails like a boss. The cardinal moons are Aries, Libra, Cancer, and Capricorn. They're the ones that start off each season. And as I said, we've got the spring equinox or the autumn equinox, depending on where you are. So it's a new beginning. Blaze those trails like a boss. And cardinal in astrology means chief, primary, or principal. That is making you the boss of your own life, putting yourself first. You might have your moon sign in Aries, Libra, Cancer, or Capricorn. Okay, let's have a look at your North or South Node. This is my Nodes of Destiny deck. Now we already got the North Node in the 6th house. I'm just going to get one more. There we go. The South Node in the 3rd house. So the North Node is our collective point of destiny. Currently the North Node sits in Aries. It's been there since June 2023. It moves out of Aries and into Pisces, which is spirituality, in January next year. But the South Node is what we are releasing. It's our comfort zone. As I said before, this comfort zone that you're in of doing everything for others, but it's imbalanced. There's a deception in it because you're actually creating an imbalance. South Node chilling in the 3rd house. Old habits die hard, especially if you've been besties with logic in the past. But hey, it's time to tune in to your gut feelings. Who knows, a future in teaching or spreading wisdom could be calling your name. It's like a cozy spiritual hangout, letting go of the old to make room for the new. Now, for me, that is, my South Node isn't in the third house, but if I take the example of me, logically, I couldn't step away from my role in the sporting club that I was in. One, there was nobody else to do the job. Two, it would have meant that all the work that I was doing would actually get switched back onto the coaches, which is why I'd started helping in the first place. And three, I was so engrossed in what I was doing that I couldn't see the forest for the trees. So even though emotionally, spiritually, I was overwhelmed, logically, I couldn't extract myself. Okay, let's get a song for you. Now these are love songs, but I have done them in the last, well, in all the readings that we've done on the rise of the divine feminine. I just realized Ascension there, delays under there. Ascension, the rise of the divine feminine readings. There actually have been lyrics within songs that really aligned with what's going on. So I'm just going to get you a song that hopefully gives us a bit more. I'm yours, Jason Mraz. I fell right through the cracks. Now I'm trying to get back before the cool done run out. I'll be giving it my bestest and nothing's going to stop me but divine intervention. Okay, so what that says to me is, if you don't put a stop to this imbalance in your life, I go back to what I said before, something's going to give. Something's going to happen where the divine steps in, because nature, and we had loads of Taurus. Kali is the divine mother, the mother of the universe. Kali is destruction. The divine is going to bring the tower down if you don't make the change, or if you can't make the change. And as I said to you, in my experience, it was COVID. And it ended up being a blessing. Perhaps that is where we have this remain calm at this time. If something happens that makes you literally stop in your tracks, and then, if you're feeling guilty because you can't give, or, something happens, it's a blessing. And it's meant to help you out of this situation. Let's get 3 cards from your higher self. Change is coming. And if you notice, it landed near the yes card. Karmic connection. Whatever you are currently in, whatever you are currently doing, it's karmic. It's part of the karmic lessons that you are meant to learn in this lifetime, and you are meant to have a death and rebirth. It's meant to end so that you get a new beginning. But part of that is for you to recognize that what you're doing deceptively, 7 of Swords here, deceptively, you're actually cheating yourself. I need more clarity. Perhaps you're getting it. I'm trapped in fear and harmony. Remain calm at this time. I'm trapped in fear. Okay, I know exactly how you feel when you look at me with those eyes. That's the glimpse of yourself that you get in the mirror. When you know that you are exhausted, physically, mentally, spiritually, and you just don't know how to get out of it. I think you may have misunderstood me. That's somebody coming to you, pretending that they don't know that they may be taking advantage. I know there's important things we need to discuss. And just be careful, because that in itself is deceptive. That's a lure, a trap, a test that you're getting from the divine to see if you're going to get pulled back in to a life of imbalance, a life of giving to other people and not giving to yourself. Okay, now we have Scrabble tiles on here. Could be your first, middle, last initial. Could be that of somebody who's maybe taking from you. Oh, I've got 2 left. I'm going to do that again because that's too many. Give me a second. That's an imbalance, a big, big imbalance. Over-giving. Maybe that was meant to happen. Giving to, but having nothing left for yourself. Let's try to do it again, but I'm not going to let it. It's a habit I think you have. A P and a 3, an O and a 1. T and a 1. I'm not going to say what remain calm at this time. A Z and a 10. A U and a 1. A C and a 3. An A and a 1. An X and an 8. An S and a 1. A V and a 4. An F and a 4. Protected. You are protected. Double 4 is protection. A D and a 2. An R and a 1. That is if you are starting to have physical symptoms of stress, you need to see a doctor. K and a 5. And a H and a 4. And it might be something as simple as if you're overloaded and you can't sleep at night, going to see the doctor and having that conversation. Maybe there's something. Putting yourself to bed early. Having a cup of chamomile tea before you go to bed. Changing up the way that you're eating. The way that you are nurturing yourself, because it's having some sort of effect on you. Now finally, I'm going to get you 3 final cards. See if there's anything that your spirits, guides want to tell you. 3 of Cups, the Hangman. The 3 of Cups is Mercury in Cancer. The Hangman is Neptune. Okay, and the 9 of Wands, Wounded Warrior. And the 2 of Pentacles is Balance. The 9 of Wands is the Moon in Sagittarius, and the 2 of Pentacles is Jupiter in Capricorn. Wounded Warrior energy is somebody that's battling, juggling everything for too long. And you're caught in it. The Hangman. The Hangman is also somebody hanging from a tree upside down, to get an epiphany of what is actually happening here. The 3 of Cups is celebration. Emotional celebration at the enlightenment that you've actually got. So that's where I'm going to leave it. I will list those songs in the description box. Thanks for joining me. If this reading resonated with you, please give it a like. If you haven't already, please subscribe. As I said, the links to my Tarot and Oracle decks are also in the description box. Thank you for joining me, and I will see you again in another reading.